Guys, we have made it to the end of 2022. Today, we are going to look at the top sellers, athletes, characters on COMC.com for the entire year of 2022. This should be a good time. Stick around. Hello to all my sports card collectors, investors, all of my collectibles friends. I can't believe it, guys. We are at the end of 2022. Tomorrow starts a new year. What are your New Year's resolutions? For me, one, I'm going to try to drop a few LBs. I was looking back at when I first started making videos, and I am noticeably a little bit heavier. I am a couple years older, but that's no excuse. I need to get back on the train. Just like with a lot of people are going to start the year off trying to eat right, exercise, and do all that stuff. I've been doing some of that, but I need to kind of get my diet more in check. So that'll be the one thing I'm looking to do as we move into the new year. One housekeeping note, rest in peace to a hobby legend, really, Don West. Somewhat infamous in certain circles. Some believe this guy to be kind of the original pumper. But to me, I think he was really one of the original influencers of sports cards. He was on the Shop at Home network. I remember when I was a kid watching this at times, and it was just very, very entertaining. He kind of has that raspy voice. I'll play a clip in case you don't know who I'm talking about.
19 sets and boxes, barely $10 a set. Barely $10 a set. Are you ready for this? $199. 19 sets, including 1987 Fleer. Now, I'm going to get a price guide out and book these out because this one here, we can actually book, and it is going to blow your mind when you see what this deal literally goes for. The 1987 Fleer alone on this, the 1987 Fleer set alone is over $50.
87 tops rack, 87 tops factory set, 89 tops factory set. You got 87 in.
But Don West, always a really entertaining guy. And if anything else, kind of brought eyes, to the industry, to the hobby. Thanks for your service, Don West, and for the memories. All right, guys, this data from COMC, it's based on volume of sales, not dollar amount of sales. And we have included retired players. I always do get kind of questions as, hey, can you also include retired players in some of these data points? And so they have done that for the year of 2022 to give you kind of the full scope. It's based on COMC.com sales. It's based on the COMC eBay sales. It's also based on port sales. So kind of compiling it all together, and we put it out there into the universe. All right, let's start with baseball. Oh, I should say too, the just with everybody on PTO, the graphics guy was not available this week, and so I don't have the graphics, but I will kind of put the list up here as I'm talking. So for baseball, number one, we've got Ken Griffey Jr. Man, the Ken Griffey Jr. collectors always out in force, and they really were in 2022. Number two, Aaron Judge, for obvious reasons, one of the hottest baseball players in baseball. 62 home runs for old Aaron Judge. Number three, Mike Trout, an obvious mainstay on the list. Number four, Shohei Ohtani, the pitcher and the hitter. And then number five, Derek Jeter. So not a ton of surprises really on the baseball list, really kind of mainstays. Except for me, it's very interesting to me how Ken Griffey Jr., who you don't really see him kind of out in the public. I mean, he's not a public face like what you would see with Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter, runs Arena Club. He's got the face of Arena Club. He's out here in the card world. He's also at signings. He's doing a bunch of different things. And not to say that Griffey's not doing these things too, but I just don't hear about him as much in the news. He seems to keep kind of more of a lower profile. So it's just cool to me that, people, a lot of them probably my age, in that age group, that remember kind of that sweet swing, that lefty sweet swing that Griffey had, and collecting him to this day. All right, next we'll look at football. Not really a surprise at number one, Tom Brady. High expectations with him coming into the year with the Bucs. Granted, last year they didn't get it done, but the first year in Tampa, he did win a Super Bowl. He is the undisputed GOAT in football, and so no surprise there at one. Number two, Joe Burrow, probably spurred on by the fact that Burrow was in the Super Bowl in February in 2022, believe it or not, trying to make another run, and this was a guy that did it with zero offensive line last year. He's got some more weapons. The line is a little bit better, still not fantastic. fantastic, but Joe Burrow sits at number 2. Patrick Mahomes, the second at number 3, probably the best overall athletic quarterback in all of football. A lot of excitement really when it comes to the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes really every year now. It's kind of Super Bowl or bust in Kansas City, it feels like these days. Number 4, Peyton Manning, one of the guys, again, he's won a couple of championships, all-time great QB, and there's a lot of Peyton Manning collectors out there. And then we round out with Jalen Hurts. Kind of a surprise, frankly, to me. Jalen Hurts is a guy that really burst onto the scene this season. He doesn't really have a lot of history behind him. I remember coming into this year, Eagles fans as well saying like, hey, Jalen Hurts got to figure it out, got to show us something, and he's really progressed tremendously this season. Obviously, in that Eagles team, it's kind of all come full circle. Things are clicking for them. Can they make it happen in the postseason? That's what we're going to have to find out. When we get to crunch time, can this team win? We will find out soon enough. Basketball. I always say every time I do these, every week, Michael Jordan is number 1. Michael Jordan is number 1 every week. I believe this might even be site-wide too. Michael Jordan is the most transacted player for basketball. Number 2, LeBron James for 2022. Number 3, Kobe Bryant. Number 4, Steph. And number 5, Shaq. And honestly, you look at that 5, it's really the most important basketball players over the last, 40 years. If we're tacking in Jordan in their 35 years. I mean, there's not really any big surprises. These guys all have a lot of types of cards to collect, and you're seeing a lot of transactions in 2022 for these guys. We'll move to hockey. Number 1, Connor McDavid for the year of 2022. Connor McDavid, the most transacted. Number 2, Alex Ovechkin. Congrats to him on 800 plus goals. Number 3, the GOAT in hockey, Wayne Gretzky. Number 4, Austin Matthews. And then Sidney Crosby rounds it out at 5. So again, you just got kind of these legends in the hockey space. And then you got Austin Matthews thrown in there for 2022. It's very interesting. I always like the hockey list when I do these weekly or bi-weekly because there's always new names on the list. Whoever has a big goal scoring game or there's a new hot rookie, young guns that's come out or whatever. And so hockey is always kind of an interesting one. There's a lot of prospecting going on there, but then there's also the GOAT, as you can see with Wayne Gretzky, Alex Ovechkin, etc., that sell a lot on COMC.com. All right, Marvel Spider-Man sits at number 1. I was a little surprised. Captain America at number 2. Number 3, Wolverine. As Wolverine was always kind of number 2 there, but Captain America actually transacted more in 2022 than Wolverine. Thor at number 4, and then Iron Man rounds it out at number 5. We'll end with soccer. The World Cup just happened. Easily the most exciting soccer game I've ever watched was that final, Argentina versus France. It was amazing. And I was pulling for Argentina, so it kind of worked out for me. A lot of times you watch a great match and then your team loses. Like, oh, it was great except for the ending. And that's how I felt like this World Cup with Messi kind of rounding out his career with that. There's going to be a lot of GOAT talk. And then, unfortunately, we just heard the GOAT of soccer, Pele, just passed away. Another absolute legend in the sports world that has left us. So it's wild. As you continue to get older, these folks, they pass away, these legends. We had Bill Russell pass away as well in 2022. We can't forget these legends. And so for soccer, number 1 in 2022, Cristiano Ronaldo was number 1 on the site. Lionel Messi was number 2. No surprise there. The ultimate prospect, the guy that's coming up, Erling Haaland at number 3. And number 4, Kylian Mbappe. A lot of folks just think he's the best player in the world. And he really turned it on in this World Cup. He was impressive to watch. And then to round out soccer, Neymar Jr. rounds out the soccer list at number 5. So guys, any surprises for you on this list? Make sure to check out COMC.com. Like I say, it is the Disneyland for card collectors. It's a good time. Guys, stay healthy, stay awesome as we move into this new year. I will see you again soon. Take care.